Hodgson from RustyBlue85, and I'm back on YouTube with another card making tutorial, making a thank you card using Honeybee Stamp's Spring Blossoms stamp set. So I just wanted to share a very quick haul with you that I got from Simon Says Stamp. I got the Jennifer Maguire enamel pin Share Handmade Kindness because I love that sentiment, so I really wanted to get that enamel pin, and I'm slightly obsessed with enamel pins at the moment. I also got the Honeybee Stamps Spring Blossoms and the Deckled Edge Square dies and the Winter Anemone stamp set. So anemones are my mum's favourite flower, so I got that stamp set to make her birthday card for this year. Anyway, moving on from that card, this card I will be making multiples, and I will be making them in bulk. It's essentially going to be a one layer card. It's going to involve some masking and layering. So I've just cut out the largest of the deckled edge squares, and I'm going to be cutting that from Bristol Smooth cardstock. So I'm going to be lining up the multiple shapes that I've die cut, the squares, in my stamp positioner. And I'm going to be using the outline to hold them in place because they're not perfectly straight on any edge. It's quite difficult to get them lined up every time. So if you use the outline, it makes it much easier to position them all in the same place. So I'm just getting that lined up within my stamp positioner and using the magnets to hold it in place. I'm using the second largest of the blooms in the Honeybee Stamp Spring Blossom stamp set. And I'm going to be stamping that with VersaFine Onyx Black ink. Because I'm going to be colouring later with my Arteza Real Blush markers, and I think that the VersaFine Onyx Black is quite good for water colouring, shall we say, on top of it. So as I said, I'm going to be stamping and stamping onto some post-it note masks, cutting those out and then stamping over the top of the masks, and everything's going to be in duplicate because I've made several of these cards. So it's all quite can't speak today. It's all quite self-explanatory, so I'm going to leave you with some music so that you can watch the stamping and the mask making, and I'll be back when I start colouring. And now that I've finished stamping all of the flowers and the leaves, I'm going to be stamping the sentiment. And for the sentiment, I'm using the Honeybee Stamps Goodness Gracious stamp set. And I'm going to be stamping the largest bit of the sentiment, which is well, goodness gracious, and trying to get it to fit underneath the blossoms. And then separately, I'm going to be stamping the thank you, kind of nestled between the G and the S underneath the first sentiment. And now that my front panel is all stamped, I'm going to start colouring with my Arteza real brush markers. So I initially started off with 3 green colours, but I cut that down to 2 as I only have 1 leaf in there, and I was finding it quite difficult to get a good blend on such a small area. And I also used fuchsia, which is a sort of darker pink, and bubblegum pink for the blossoms. And to make them really sparkly, I used my Wink of Stella clear glitter brush pen. And again, I'm going to leave you with some music so that you can watch the colouring if you want to, and I'll be back with you in a bit. I mentioned previously, I used Wink of Stella to add some sparkle to the petals of the blooms, and I'm now adding some Scotch foam tape to the back of the deckled edge square. I'm not going to force you to watch me cutting loads of bits of Scotch foam tape, so I'll edit that out. So I'm going to be adhering the deckled edge square to a Centura Pearl 6x6 card base. Because it's Centura Pearl, it's lovely and sparkly and pink, so it really complements the blooms that I've coloured with the Wink of Stella. And it's also plain on the inside for easy writing, so I really like using these Centura Pearl ready-made card bases from Hobbycraft. So that is the card for today. Thank you so much for watching until the end. Please, if you liked the video, give it a thumbs up and consider subscribing to my channel if you don't already do so. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you again soon. Bye!